All right, chosen ones. So welcome back to another episode on Antonicus Aurelius Motivates. And I'm glad to be back with you today. As you can see, it's another nice day out here today. Today is Saturday, January 10th, 2026. And we fixing to get into a good one today. We fixing to get into this topic today, chosen ones, about exactly what happened to you, okay? And this is what happened, right? Check it out. They tried to make you the scapegoat. Secret plans were made, and they set the stage for your downfall. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened, all right? So we fixing to get into this topic, all right? So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get it, all right? So I got like all my talking points laid out here today on this whole entire topic. And for those of y'all who have experienced this, you should be able to relate to everything I'm fixing to lay out for y'all. And I'm fixing to go ahead and explain it in detail, because I got to get this out there, because many of you who are chosen to do a work for the Lord, you have experienced this. And I pray that today this would be an encouragement to you if you are going through the same thing, or if you have already been through the same thing. Then I pray that this will be an encouragement for you not to give up and to keep on going on. All right, so what happened is they tried to make you the villain, right? Or slash the scapegoat. They was jealous of you. And so they spread lies about you to turn people against you. And, you know, they slander the chosen ones. That's what happens. That's what happens, y'all. And we can see a clear example of this in the Word of God. This has happened all in the past. And one of the best examples of this is in the book of Genesis, chapter 39, verse 11 through 20. And in this part in the Bible, this explains the story of Joseph and Potiphar's wife. And in this story that was in the Bible, this is a classic example of how the chosen ones get slandered, because they have that special thing about them that the Lord knows, and that the enemy, Satan, knows all about, and how the Lord wants to utilize the chosen ones for a great work. You have a great work that you must accomplish. And so you're here. You're here now on this earth to do what you came to do for the Lord. And when we look at this example of what happened to Joseph with Potiphar's wife in Genesis 39, 11 through 20, we see how Potiphar's wife was actually being utilized by the enemy to try to trap Joseph in sin with adultery. But as you can see, Joseph saw through the plan and saw the trap. And he utilized his discernment, and he was very wise not to fall into the trap and to repeatedly deny the advancements towards him by Potiphar's wife and refuse those advancements. So this is what happens, chosen ones, when maybe you have someone who's physically attracted to you, and we still see this happening even now, and you reject that person, or you don't want nothing to do with that person because you can see that spirit that's inside that person that you already know is not good for you, and is not going to be there to help you in your advancement, but is going to be there to be more of a hindrance to you. And so we can see this happen where sometimes when you deny that person, then they do malicious things to you in spite of you later on to try to mess you up. And this was a classic example of that with Joseph, where he was thrown into jail by Potiphar because his wife lied on him. So these enemies of yours, they have been wanting to mess you up with these lies. Another example of this, where this happened in the Bible, is in the book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 3 through 12. And in this book in the Bible, in this part in the Bible, it shows a classic example of where the authority figures and the satraps and the authorities under the king wanted to trap Daniel, because Daniel was very good in all that he did, and they couldn't find no flaws within him. This is where they are always trying to find flaws in you, chosen one. This is what they are always trying to do. And when they can't find a flaw in you, then they try to tell lies on you or try to mess you up somehow. And so we see how in this case with Daniel, where he was lied on, or basically what was done was he was set up by the officials under the king to get him trapped for praying to another god. And that was the only thing they could get him for, because he didn't do anything else that was wrong. So they had the king sign a decree saying that no one could pray to any other gods. And so they tried to trap Daniel and falsely accuse him of something that was wrong, that wasn't wrong, and had him thrown into the lion's den. But we see how what happened with this story in the Bible, how God shut the mouths of the lions and did not allow what the wicked, evil authority figures had planned for Daniel out of jealousy. How God made their plans out of jealousy fail when he sent the angel to shut the mouth of the lions in the lion's den. So moving right along though, you didn't know what was being done to you behind your back. See, just the same way as Daniel and Joseph, or the same way Daniel didn't know probably what was going on behind his back. You didn't know what was going on behind your back, how you was being set up by these people. All you knew was that, like, in your hometown and stuff, people was giving you the evil eye, and you was like getting looked at with side eyes, and like you was wondering what was wrong with people. Like, you was just being nice and being yourself, but people was like, it was like they had something they was angry at you about, and you were wondering the whole time, like, man, what did I do? You know what I mean? All I said was good morning or something like that, like in the store or wherever you was at, and people was just all looking at you like all nasty with scrunched faces and like hatred towards you. But you didn't know, you know, yourself what was going on. So, you know, this goes back to Mark chapter 6, verse 4. And in Mark chapter 6, verse 4, Jesus said himself that a prophet is without honor, is not without honor, except within his own hometown or amongst his own people. And we can see clearly how this happened also as well with the story of Joseph when he was young, when his brothers, his own brothers, you know, turned against him to try to put him in the pit and lie and say he was eaten by a beast and put blood on his coat of many colors because they was jealous of him and what God had for him. You know, they was jealous of him, so they tried to make up these lies on him. So this is another thing that happened to you, you know. And then, you know, also, you may have been like myself. You was in a low vibrational state during this time. You was in a low vibrational state during this time, and you may also have lost like your self-esteem during this time when all these things was happening to you. And you was wondering, like, man, why can't I get any like support or anything from anyone? Maybe like in my case, you know, you had people who wouldn't support you in your local church, and there was people like coming against you like in your local church. And see, the devil would use anybody, even people in the church, man. In my case, he had like deacons with name tags coming up to my house like unannounced from the church, from where they were coming from was from the men's Bible study class that I had been in. And a lot of this stuff happened to you, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about that because that could be a whole nother video too as well. But what it is you have a lot of judgmental people wherever you are, wherever you're meeting at, and, you know, talking amongst other people in the church who talk about you behind your back, you know. And so this caused you maybe to leave wherever you was going to fellowship at church with, because you were probably being talked about in your church or gossiped about there. And you know, so also you didn't have no support because you left there, but then you also knew that you didn't want to really go back to the world because you didn't have no support in the world either. So you wasn't about to go back to the same people that you left from, you know, in the first time. So maybe you just was alone by yourself, but you was still doing your job. Like in my case, I was doing my landscaping and stuff like that. And so you would come home, and then you didn't have no support. And then also things were probably, you know, you may have backslid during this time. You know, you may have gotten back into alcohol and things, especially when bad things was going on around you. Like at the time, you know, the planned, which we already know was planned, pandemic was going on during my time, you know, when I was in this low vibrational state. You know, so this may have happened to you, chosen one, you know, where you had backslid for a moment and you had got off a track. But all this was by design by the enemy, you see. And then also, you know, what happened was you had started out with pure intentions, okay? You started out with pure intentions that were genuine and authentic. You know what I mean? You was like really had pure intentions that was genuine and authentic to help others, to do something good that would benefit others in an uplifting and positive way, okay? But people were jealous of you, right? People was jealous of you, chosen one, because they saw your gifts and, you know, they were envious of your gifts and they wanted to like destiny swap with you. Some of these people wanted to like trade places with you to make themselves better than you or whatever, because they was in a secret competition with you or whatever. Okay? So this also probably happened to you during this time. And they was trying to do this to you by undermining you or by trying to discredit your authenticity, man. You know, by trying to like, basically what they was trying to do, right? Basically what they wanted to do was to steal your blessings, man. That's what they wanted to do, you know? So that's another thing what this was all about, okay? Then they had used this smear campaign, you know, against you to slow down your progress or to altogether stop your mission or your assignment. You know, that's what it was all designed for. It was to slow down your progress or to stop your mission or your assignment. You know, whatever you came to do. That's what it was all about. But you had to learn all of this in your own mind, you know what I mean, by going through what you went through. And this was how they began to set the stage for you, for your downfall, chosen one. This was the beginnings of setting the stage for your downfall, right? This is what it was all about. And I'm breaking it down for you right here on this video, man, today. The devil, Satan, he sent people into your life, okay, to betray you. This could have been like your fake friends, your co-workers, your nosy neighbors, yeah, them too. People in your church, or even fake family members. Yes, sir, even your fake family members will do it to you, chosen one. The devil will use anyone. He doesn't care. He will use anyone, especially those who are closest to you, to try to derail you, you know, and sometimes, unfortunately, chosen ones, it's the members of your own family. And that's the worst, man, because betrayal from your own family cuts a whole different way, man. It cuts deep, and it leaves a scar that is like none other. So I'm speaking to you all today from my own experiences of going through these things, because now I know, and the Lord is revealing all of this to me in his own way and during his own time right now in my life. And It's still unfolding, man. I'm still in the midst of this storm right now. But I know that this is all being revealed to me because I can see clearly how people have literally tried to destroy my entire life and existence. And I've shared this before in previous videos about everything they did to me, okay? And I continue to tell my story right here on my channel, you know what I mean? So if y'all done been through this stuff, chosen ones, you know who I'm talking to, who can relate to these things, you know? Y'all know who can relate to these things if you've been through these things. If you haven't been through these things, you've probably seen others who have been through these things, okay? And this is real stuff, man. This is real stuff. That's why I say all the time, this spiritual warfare thing is not a game, man. It's for real. It's really happening against those who want to truly serve and follow God, man, and who refuse to sell out to the Babylon system and to the, you know, to the whole agenda that they want to keep going all the time, to keep people in a vicious cycle of being caught up and in the vicious cycle of addiction, the vicious cycle of trouble, catching cases, in and out of the court system, in and out of jail, never moving forward, always getting pushed back, okay? So this is what happened, all right? And I'm breaking this down for you today. I'm gonna let y'all know exactly how it went down, right? While I'm walking out here in this field today. And I switched up the location today, as y'all can see. You know, I just wanted to come to a different place, and it's nice out here today. Anyway, back to the topic, man, not to stray from the topic too much, okay? We like where we're at, we like the location, but not to stray from the topic, you know, right back to it. So moving along to my last talking point here today, okay? What happened, right? What happened was the goal of these things that was done to you and with your fake family members and the betrayal and all that was to get you to act out, right? That was the goal of it. They didn't even know, these people who were doing this to you, that they were being utilized. Many of them didn't even know that they were being utilized by the enemy to come against you, because they're blind and they can't see, because they're walking in spiritual darkness and they're worldly people, right? So they don't know what they're doing. They don't even realize they're being utilized by the enemy to persecute you, right? But this is what's happened to you, okay? So moving right along to my last talking point here. And this is my 7th talking point here on this video here, okay? Talking point number 7. When all of these traps failed, right? Their last ditch effort was to attack you, chosen one. It was to attack you. And that's exactly what happened to myself, right? For those of y'all who've already been with me on my channel, you know about this, right? And I know that it was done with malicious intent. But, you know, I've told this story before about what happened to me personally. And I'm still looking for justice from that. But they attacked you. They attacked you, right? And this could have been verbally, physically, which was in my case, or mentally, which was in my case as well. They wanted to try to drive you crazy to make you lose your mind. And this also could have been attacks on you financially, chosen one. Yes, that's one of the major ones they use. Financial attacks on you. They tried to block your income. This also was what happened to me personally, right? They tried to block my income. to try to mess up my business and all of that. And y'all already know the stories I'm told about that too, who's been here with me, about how they tried to destroy my landscape business. And they're still trying to destroy me to this very day. Okay, that's what's happening. And they're threatening to take my assets, to take my last. They already took everything from me. I've already lost everything, pretty much, for this and for this cause and for what I came to stand for and what I came to do, you know, with my whole thing and my whole vision that I had from the beginning. But anyway, they don't like your vision. They want to try to stop it. They want to try to block it, okay? And so they attempted to block your finances, chosen one. And the goal here again, all right, the ultimate goal here again was to get you, to try to get you to act out again, to try to get you to act out of anger, out of hostility, out of rage, which these things I'm sure had most of you burning up on the inside as they did me. Like you really wanted to, like, you know, have the people pay who did these things to you. And that's exactly what their whole goal was with what they was trying to do to you, was to try to get you to act out in anger or retaliation. So you would be, you know, either unalived in doing that, in the process of doing that, like you see happen with so many people who get angry and get guns and then they try to retaliate or whatever, then they ended up getting unalived in the process. Or the whole thing was designed to either get you unalived that way or to make you mentally lose it all and make you contemplate unaliving yourself, which many of you probably did contemplate that, you know, because of this, because this stuff puts such a strain on you in your life and on your mind and on your soul. You know, they attacked your soul. That's what they did, chosen one. And so anyway, it was designed to either have you get unalive, to unalive yourself, or else the other thing, unalive yourself, or the other thing was to, you know, have you be incarcerated or put into a jail or a prison or a correctional facility, right? That's what it was designed to do, okay? That was the whole purpose behind all this thing. And I told y'all I'm breaking this down for y'all today. I'm breaking this whole thing down for y'all today, what happened, right? And so the stage was set for you. They had the stage set for you. See, you were supposed to play your role. That's what you were supposed to do, right? You were supposed to play your role in all of this. And in order for the setup to work. You had to play your role, chosen one. You know, but when you didn't do it, when you didn't play your part, see, they desperately needed you to play your part / your role in this whole plan or plot to destroy you. But when you didn't do it, when you didn't play your role, when you didn't show up, when you didn't act out, when you handed all your enemies over to God, to the Most High God, and you did what you did, and you used restraint, this threw a monkey wrench in their whole operation. Because you had to be the star who stepped on their stage that they was gonna make you the villain in. But if you don't show up on the stage, then there's nobody there to accuse. And so this is what completely ruined their plans against you, chosen one. And their whole plan fell apart, and now it's blowing up in their faces. It's straight blowing up in their wicked, evil faces for what they did to you. You know? And a lot of most of all of this had to do the whole entire time with, you know, all of this had to do the whole entire time with a lot of people's inability to accept you and to accept the truth that you came to bring, because of the scales that was pulled over their eyes by Satan. And so they refused to face themselves in order to accept you. And so they wanted to get rid of you. They wanted to eliminate you, because you probably really was like impacting a lot of people. There probably were people who saw you and saw you and liked you, and you was probably gaining like popularity, but you didn't see it, but you didn't know it, but it was happening, and other people was probably liking you, even though you didn't know it, and even though they tried to suppress you and silence your voice. But this is also another thing that drove the jealousy and the envy of these wicked, evil people who did what they did to you, to plot to destroy you and to try to take you down, to try to bring you down. They did everything in their power to try to bring you down, chosen one. But the plan failed miserably, okay? And we about to go ahead and wrap the video up. You know, but back to the beginning, you know what I mean? What happened was, they tried to make you the scapegoat, chosen one. They wanted to make you the scapegoat. Their secret plans were made, and they set the stage for your downfall, chosen one. But you know what though? It all failed miserably, because they didn't know nothing about the spirit that was within you, your resilience, and how that was protecting you the entire time. The Holy Spirit and the Most High God was with you the whole time on your side when they used their witchcraft and their evil against you, because that's what it was. It was witchcraft. When people gossip on you and tell lies on you, that is witchcraft, chosen one. When people do things to you to mess you up financially, to block your finances, that is witchcraft, chosen one. Make no mistake about it, man. When people reject you because of him, because of Jesus Christ and his name, that's jealousy and envy and hatred, man. You know? But you already know that, because they already said, I mean, Jesus already said himself that if they hated him, they would hate you for his name's sake. But I'm reminded of James 1:2, where it says, we count it all joy, my brother, when we encounter these various trials, knowing that the testing of our faith produces endurance, so that let that have its perfect result, that we be lacking in nothing, you know? And so this whole thing fell apart right in front of their faces. And now you're only going to go to the next level where God is going to take you. So anyway, I hope this message helps somebody out today, man. I'm about to go ahead and wrap it up. You know, I'm about to go ahead and head up on out of here, out the park today. Man, it's a lovely day. The breeze is kind of blowing out here today. I hope everybody's having a good one, like I said before. And just remember, you know, no matter what, when people try to make you the scapegoat or try to do these things to you, remember that as long as you got God with you, nothing they do to you can hurt you. Isaiah 54:17, man. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, chosen one. No weapon. All right? So I'm going to catch y'all on the next one, man. Until the next one, y'all all have a blessed day. All right? Peace.